I'm Ginger Genti with GamersBliss.com here with you again, and we're at the Activision area at E3 on day 1, 2013, and I'm here with Tina.
Yeah, Tina Palacios. Tina Palacios, Senior Community Manager of Infinity Ward.
Okay, great, and she's being nice enough to sit down and answer a couple of questions that I have. Okay, so we just got to see the behind the closed doors look at Call of Duty Ghost. That's not quite ready for public eyes yet, and it was pretty impressive. Amazing graphics and stuff. We got to control the dog.
Yes.
Not only control the dog, but in many different ways. In a digitally control him, and with a camera, and you can scan enemies. You could, you could use him as a decoy, like you said, make him bark, and as well as guide him to where he can go. So you can control him firsthand, or actually give him orders. We were shown 3 different levels. All of them were pretty unique in their own way. I had a couple of questions about Call of Duty Ghost in general. Call of Duty Ghost, I guess you could say they're kind of like a vigilante force, but for the good, for the U.S. or for our country.
Sort of. So the Ghosts are a collective force of what's left of the U.S. Special Forces. So that means SEAL Team 6, possibly some Rangers. They're just trying to gather what's left of the U.S. force in order to combat a new enemy that's approached. And we're trying to fight for survival. We have our backs against the wall. It's a very scary time for America, and there's a new superpower trying to destroy our way of life. So we're trying to defend it.
Yeah. From what I can gather, it seems like, the U.S. has become more or less a third world country as far as, by certain aspects. But as far as Call of Duty Ghost, if you had to guess, or how many are there, or is it like nationwide? Are they all across the world?
It's only a small group of people, and their identity is hidden. They don't want anyone to know who they are, because they may fight outside of the U.S., and so it's very important to them to protect their identity. But yeah, there is a couple, and I don't want to mention how many because I don't want to ruin the story. And there is an explanation behind how many there are.
And I noticed that they had, during the 3 levels that we viewed, they had some pretty impressive equipment. And judging from where the story is kind of at, I don't think they're at the level where they're producing, new kinds of equipment. So are they they're really just using what they have and gathering it all together, correct?
Exactly. So the U.S., was left in disarray after the attack. And we fast forward 10 years later, and that's where the story takes place. So yeah, we're very limited in resources. And when you think about it, the U.S. now, as we know it, other countries would ask for help, and that's certainly not the case now in our game.
All right. Now I want to ask you this. So the dog is a very important, I guess you could say, character in the game, and can you please tell me that you don't play through the entire game with your dog, and at the very end of it he dies? No, I don't want him to die. Can you answer that, or do you not know, or no comment?
Well, in the 3 levels you saw, you didn't see the dog in every level. Like, we can't take him underwater, obviously, and when we were rappelling down a building, we couldn't take him there either. So he is an integral part of your squad, and there's going to be a variety of gameplay. And that said, there was an internal debate at the office about whether we wanted to kill the dog off or not, especially after the Xbox One reveal. Some guys felt so passionate, like, okay, people love him so much, we have to kill him. And then others like me were like, no, we are not killing the dog. So, that's still kind of, well, we can't reveal the answer just yet, but just know that it became an internal debate that was really heated.
I can see that. I can see how that would be an easy meeting where everybody's debating back and forth, because I guess some people would view it. They explain how the whole team is, you become more, more personally involved with them when as you're playing through the whole story. And I guess it would be better for maybe a dog to die rather than a human being. I don't know.
I'm not gonna answer that one. I'm not gonna
Okay.
answer
Okay. I won't I'm not gonna comment on that either. I didn't even say that. But at the second level we saw was Federation Day, which was pretty cool. Um, Basically, it starts off. There was a cut in the middle for the interest in time, but they were rappelling slowly down a big skyscraper and taking out enemies. Like that were just on scaffoldings, and that was pretty cool. And then the last level that we saw was Into the Deep, which was all underwater. So this is the first time that in the Call of Duty franchise where you actually truly battle underwater. They're battling with guns. I noticed you could hear the sounds of the guns underwater. Make a big difference, and it proved for some pretty impressive battles.
Yeah, so in the first level that we showed, which was No Man's Land, that took place in the U.S., and we wanted to showcase dog gameplay for one, but also emphasize, the situation that the U.S. is in. And then for a stark contrast, that's why we showed off Federation Day, which was behind enemy lines. And then you could see a little bit of like how the ghosts are infiltrating and trying to hurt the enemy where it hurts most. And then with the underwater level, it was the first time for us to explore underwater combat. There may have been underwater levels in the past, but not like this before. And the weapon that you saw in that level in particular was an APS. It's an actual Russian weapon that was commissioned for underwater combat. So that's what we're using, and it is a real weapon. We get that question a lot, whether it exists or not. So
That was actually going to be my next question. Because they're using all this, technology and weapons and stuff, and I was curious where it comes from and everything. But thank you so much, Tina. I really appreciate you for answering our questions. Once again, I'm Jim with Gamers Bliss, and this is Tina with Infinity Ward, the senior community manager. Correct? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tina.
thank you.
Don't forget to check out gamersbliss.com for the latest news on your favorite video games. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.